The first session of the Universal Periodic Review included 4 states from the Arab region: Algeria, Bahrain, Morocco, and Tunisia. As such, governments from this region were in a strong position to contribute to the establishment of positive procedural and working method precedents of the UPR process. Unfortunately, this has not always been the case. During the first UPR session and continuing throughout this week,
I see the delegation of Egypt raising a point of order. Yes.
Mr. President, I believe the item is entitled General Debate on the UPR, not on the human rights situation in 4 Arab countries. I think the Speaker should not continue if this is the way he is handling the time allocated to the civil society. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, as you know, as we all know, actually, we are in a general debate mode under item 6. So I will invite the Speaker to keep this in mind and continue, consequently, his statement. I see the delegation of Tunisia raising a point of order. Yes.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, I would like to express our disapproval concerning the statement of the distinguished representative of the NGO. We would like to support what was just said by the representative of Egypt. We are in a setting for an evaluation of a process and not examining the human rights situation in countries. I would ask you to recall the gentleman to order and the principles governing this council. Thank you.
So may I just recall what I've just said to the representative of the NGO, and please, sir, you may continue under those lines.
Thank you, Mr. President. During the first UPR session and continuing throughout this week, these governments and their close allies on the Human Rights Council choose to propose procedural regulations and establish working modalities which had the effect of shielding these 4 governments from undergoing an open evaluation.
We have a point of order raised by the delegation of Egypt.
Mr. President, it is clear that the Speaker is ignoring the guidance he is just giving by the podium. The reference to 4 Arab countries was repeated twice after the guidance of the President was made. I'm afraid if the Speaker cannot amend his statement on the spot, he can be given another chance to come after the next 3 speakers while he will use the time to amend his statement to focus on the UPR. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. But again, I think we are witnessing an attempt to try to construe the scope of the general debate statements. This is item 6, general debate statement. For me, it is the first time to hear this should preclude mentioning countries. As long as this is linked to the subject matter at hand, item 6, namely, any speaker should be permitted to illustrate his or her points by states if he so chooses. That would be my understanding, at least.
Thank you, sir.
Debate on UPR. We are at a historic moment in the creation of a new tool and new mechanism on human rights for the United Nations. The comments by the NGO in question are entirely within the scope of a general debate on UPR, and we would be very grateful if he could continue.
Mr. President, I share the view of the delegate of Egypt. We have listened to contributions by NGOs on our respective reports, and They were not tender on my report. But we should not now go back to this question. They've had ample opportunity to talk about individual countries. I see that this is starting again, and I would strongly recommend that we keep the good spirit of the debate that we've had so far. It's been constructive, and every NGO has had the opportunity to speak about specific countries.
As our Canadian colleague have said, we are at a very important point of the UPR, as we have listened to many interventions before this NGO that under this general general debate. As many colleagues has pointed out, that we have many chances, whether in the first week of the Human Rights Council or whether when we are adopting the outcome of these individual countries. All these NGOs are welcome to make their comments and concerning each country when adopting the outcome. However, we are under the general debate of the item 6, which is not supposed to repeat what we have done under the other items or what we have done when we adopted outcome. So, Mr. President, as other colleagues, I may also request you to request these NGOs to make their contributions in accordance with the item under discussion.
So, I guess we are in very full agreement that we ask the speakers to make their contributions in keeping with the item on the agenda that we have right now. And that is general debate under item 6. I have said already this, I say it again, although I'm sure everybody can go back to the program of work and read what that program mentions at this time of day and of the week. Consequently, may I repeat my call to the speakers to stay within these lines, and I would invite the delegate to continue his statement, bearing in mind what I have just said.